Well, welcome back to part 2 of the racing footage from the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club's Round 2 event that was held at Forestmill in Clackmannanshire in April 2005. Now in this clip you'll see racing from all the classes, from pre-77 4-strokes right up to the modern Monoshock A-classes and Monoshock B-classes. Okay, first up we have the Twinshock Open class. This is race 2 of the Twinshock Open class, and it looks like Walter Bickmore has sprung from the gate to take the whole shot. The track, of course, still very wet due to the rain that persisted on and off throughout the day. Just pick a few of the riders as they head up the hill. There's Ed Scrivener there, number 8 on the Husqvarna. Steve Cruikshank. Gary Roxburgh just going through. But it looks like Walter Bickmore is taking a good substantial lead as they head from the top of the track and make their way down. Track very slippy indeed at this point. That doesn't seem to be a problem for Walter Bickmore. Second place man should be coming into sight just now. It's Paul Chiappa, number 1 on the 490 Michael, who won the first race of the day. Brian Allardyce there on the big KTM. But it's Walter Bickmore who is taking the early lead as he makes his way up through the track. Very tricky riding conditions on the adverse cambers of this racetrack. This particular track, of course, does not get used for racing now. Soon after this race event was finished, the land was put up for development, so we no longer use this track. And when you consider that was 13 years ago, it's not surprising. There's Craig Smith coming through on the 400 Michael. Simon Watson there on the JBR Honda. It still looks like Walter Bickmore has got a nice safe lead on the 490 Michael, barring any slips or falls. Still a few of the riders finding it very tricky to circumnavigate this track, but these guys, utter professionals, doesn't seem to be a problem whatsoever. But it's still Pennycook rider Walter Bickmore who seems to be very comfortable in the front of this pack. Simon Watson there on the JBR Honda. You'd think that these conditions would suit the 4-stroke bikes better than the 2-strokes, but I suppose it's all down to rider skill on the day. Simon just putting the power down there on that big JBR Honda. Still Walter there, he's still doing well, he's still keeping Paul Chiappa in second place as he heads to the top of the track to head back down. Ed Scrivener going there, through there on the number 8 Husqvarna. Second place man still Paul Chiappa, number 1 on that big 490 Michael. Looks like Walter's had a bit of a slip there. Did Paul Chiappa sneak through there? Yes, Paul Chiappa is now in first place. This could be interesting if Walter tries to catch Paul in first place. Quite easy to slip off your bike in these conditions, but it looks like Walter Bickmore is making the challenge. Goes up the inside of Chiappa. Bit of a coming together there. And Walter's away, and let's see if Paul can make any headway on Walter Bickmore's lead. The curse of the commentators just struck there. I was mentioning how easy it is to slip off your bike, and Walter just does it right on cue. But he's back on his bike and he's heading up the hill to chase Chiappa down for that first place. Should never give up on this guy. Walter, he will always be there at the end and always put a challenge in. But it's still Chiappa in first place on the number 1 Michael. With Walter just a few bike lengths behind. Still in there with a fight. Very tricky turn this one, it's the adverse camber. But he's still very close to Chiappa. Should Chiappa just miss a gear or take a slide off his bike, Walter will be right in there to pounce. As they head to the bottom turn of the track to head back up the hill. Walter very close again. Let's see what happens as they both power up the hill. Looks like Chiappa's got the power down, Walter doing a bit of slip sliding there. But nevertheless, he's still in there with, oh dear. Curse of the commentators again, looks like Walter has a mechanical problem with that 490 Michael. Doesn't look like the bike seized, but there is some kind of mechanical problem. And that's the noon rider Malcolm McNabb there going through on the YZ Yamaha, number 50. But Chiappa still out there in the front doing his stuff and just trying his best to keep that bike upright and on the island. Doing well. This could be win number 2 for Paul Chiappa. That's not the second place man, that is Jock Baird being lapped, unfortunately. Very, very slidey, even for these experienced riders. Steve Cruikshank just going through there. Looks like Gary Roxburgh there, number 66 on the 1980 400 Michael. Steve Cruikshank there, number 32 on the CR250 Honda, is of course the Scottish Twinshock Club's scrutineer man. Okay, we're going to move on to the modern Monoshock B-class. A bit of a decimated field for this second race. It's probably due to the fact that most guys have just had enough of the wet conditions and have decided not to take part in this race. Okay, they're under starters orders and they're off. There's only about 6 riders in this race, so we'll just keep this short and sweet. But it's Kerry Wilson who heads up the hill to make the turn. To turn left. Kerry, of course, riding the 125 KTM. Got a second place in race 1 as she makes the turn to head back up the hill. A couple of riders having a bit of sliding problems to get that power down to get up the hill. But it looks like Kerry's been overtaken, or she's dropped her bike. This is the rider that won race 1, and I do apologise as his name escapes me at the moment. But there's Kerry Wilson there, number 6 on the 125 KTM in second place. Let's hope Kerry can keep that bike circumnavigating this very, very wet track. So as she heads down to the bottom of the track to make the left turn, still going well, still keeping the bike upright and in second place as she makes the turn to head up the hill for the long drag to the top of turn 1. Still going well. Back down the track to this very, very tricky turn 2 to head back up the hill. A few riders have dropped their bikes here before. Very slidey as you can see, but she's managed to make the turn and still chase. Oh, and there's your leader who has just in fact dropped his machine. Now, has Kerry got enough distance to make the pass before he gets his bike fired up again? No is the answer. Still keeps the lead, so this is your leader, number 141. Kerry close behind there in second place, so that was a good opportunity there for Kerry to make the pass had she been closer. The name of the game, of course, in these kind of conditions is to keep the bike moving and keep it upright. It's very, very easy to drop the bike in any of these turns. So Kerry's still looking good for another second place in this race 2, with of course one more race for this class still to come. There's your race leader, number 141. I do apologise for not knowing the rider's name, but if you're looking at this, you'll know who you are. Riding a very good race. Kerry quite close behind now, could possibly make that challenge before the end of this race. Let's hope she doesn't try too hard and drop the bike. But still looking good for another second place. That little 125 KTM seems to be suiting these very wet conditions. But there's your leader, number 141, as he heads up the hill to this is his last lap, by the way, to take the win if he crosses the checkered flag without any incidents. Still looking good for the win, number 141. Kerry making the turn now. Oh dear. Commentators curse once again. Kerry drops the bike. But anyway, that was the second race for the modern Monoshock B-class. Okay, we're going to move right along now. This is race 2 for the modern Monoshock A-class. These, of course, are the championship registered riders. A very good turnout of riders. Watch out for John Suter, who won race 1. Just look out for John Suter and Craig Stevenson. A good start. It looks like Angus McLeod. It looks like Craig Stevenson has made the whole shot on the 4-stroke Suzuki as he turns left to head back down the hill to make this very tricky turn. You have to watch this turn when you turn back up the hill. Sean Docherty there in second place with the 2-stroke Yamaha. There's Suter there, third place. Ryan Bruce. Bill Bruce. Most of the riders appear to have made the turn successfully. But here we have race leader Craig Stevenson has just been passed by forfeit rider John Suter. Third place, number 19, who unfortunately I do not know the name of the rider. But it looks like Suter will be opening up a substantial lead on the rest of the pack. Rest of the pack just coming through there. The track unfortunately not drying very much as the day progressed, so wasn't really a great improvement in the riding conditions. But there's Suter, number 118 on the 2-stroke Suzuki, making the turn to head back up the hill. Looking very good. Where he gets the traction from on that Suzuki, I'll never know. Second place man, number 19, Craig Stevenson there, number 38 on the 4-stroke Suzuki. But it's still John Suter who's showing the rest of the pack a clean pair of heels. Looks like he stalled the bike there momentarily as he headed into the turn. Very quick on this Suzuki. Of course, John no longer races motocross bikes. John has given up the motocross racing to take up triathlon, and he's a very accomplished athlete as well in his new venture for triathlon. So it's Craig Stevenson still coming through there in second place with number 19. Sorry, number 19 just momentarily takes the lead, but Stevenson there in third place on the 4-stroke Suzuki. That, of course, is Ryan Bruce on the CRF 450 Honda. And his father Bill is also racing in this particular race. Ryan, of course, does not live in the UK any longer. Emigrated to Australia a good few years ago, so hopefully we're making a good life out there. But there's Suter on the 118 2-stroke Suzuki, still in the lead as we wait for our second and third place man. There's Stevenson there, number 38 in third place, still close behind second place man number 19. Craig Stevenson, of course, did very well. I think he got second place in the first race of the day, so if he can make inroads into number 19's lead, he could take a second place again. This is Sean Docherty from Gairloch Head on the west coast of Scotland. Sean, of course, very accomplished and very quick rider, and just loves his YZ Yamahas. Okay, that's one of the mid-pack riders coming through. And here we have our second and third place men. Number 19 there, second place. Craig Stevenson taking the inside line. Seems to have got the advantage on the turn. Gets the inside line, and looks like Craig's going to secure that second place. Spoke too soon. Number 19 regains his second place. Craig Stevenson in third. David Cameron looks like he's taken a fall there, but doesn't seem to be any damage done. These bikes can be very heavy once you drop them in these very muddy conditions. They always weigh 3 times more than they do when they're dry. So there's Suter, the race leader, a very substantial lead on the second and third place man. Just absolutely loving these wet and slippy conditions on that 2-stroke Suzuki. It's Ryan Bruce going through there, number 64 on the CRF 450 Honda. There's your third place man, Craig Stevenson, still in third place. David Watson there, number 177 on the Suzuki, going through. And it looks like another rider's had a few problems with these muddy conditions. Sean Docherty just going through there, number 275 on the YZ Yamaha. We're still just waiting to pick up the race leader as he comes round. There's John Suter there, seems to be slowing slightly. And how cool is that? You're that far ahead, you can just stop at the side of the track and have a chat with a few of the spectators. Okay, it's still Suter in first place. That's Ryan Bruce coming back round again on the CRF 450 Honda. Still Stevenson in third place there. Still trying to make grounds on that second place man, number 19. The conditions still very slippy and very heavy going for most of these riders. Although Suter crosses the line to take the win, Craig Stevenson did get a third place, and another club rider there with just a few sticky problems. Okay, we're on to the last block of racing now. There's only 4 races left to go. This is the third and final race for the over 40s and over 50s class. Let's see if we can pick out a few of the riders. That's Mike Doby there on the Myco in number 27. Just behind him is Brian Hamilton on the Husqvarna, number 14. Stuart Baird there, number 41 on the CZ. David Donald on the right hand side here, number 22. A bit of a decimated field again due to the conditions, but they're off, and it looks like Stuart Baird is going to make the whole shot at the top of the hill. Gets a good shot out of the gate, makes the top of the hill, and starts to turn left. Good start from Stuart Baird in this race. Now let's see if he can get safely round this bottom. Oh, seems to have stalled it. I think he has. He's stalled it. Davy Donald goes through for the lead. Mike Doby in second. Callum Sangster in third. There's Jock McKell, number 161 on the Myco. Brian Hamilton looks like he's did a similar thing to Stuart Baird and stalled his bike at the bottom of the hill. Now, which one of these two will get their bike started first? I think that's a bet I wouldn't like to make. Which bike would start first? First the Husqvarna or the CZ? But it's Mike Doby there in number 27 on the 490 Myco who takes the lead. That's Mike's friend behind him there, Callum Sangster, on the 250 Myco. Oh, looks like Mike stalled on the corner, so Callum Sangster is now the race leader as he goes through. Davy Donald seems to have dropped his bike. Jock McKell coming into the turn on the 490 Myco. Now it's one thing dropping these big Mycos, it's another thing getting them lifted up. Let's see if Jock can get the bike lifted up. Yes, he's got it. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. Big heavy machines, these bikes, when they're stacked full of mud. Brian Hamilton going through there and having a good laugh at his friend and fellow racer hitting the deck. Yeah, a good test of your fitness is to get one of these big Mycos started once you've been racing most of the day. Looks a bit tired there, Mr. McKell. Okay, there's your race leader there, number 60, is it 53, Callum Sangster on the 250 81 Myco. Davy Donald appears to have got his bike up and running again. I'm not exactly clear as to what make of bike this is. It looks like an old Can-Am, although I do stand to be corrected. That's Davy Donald there just making a turn. Stuart Baird still going round the track on that 41 CZ. Stuart Baird from Ayrshire. I'm not entirely sure what position Stuart is on the track now due to his little excursion at turn 2 when he stalled the bike. He could possibly be a bit further down the track, but nevertheless he's still making his way around the track at a reasonably good speed. Well, it's Mr. Stuart Baird there, number 41 on the CZ. Okay, we're moving right along here now. This is the final race for the combined pre-77 and 4-stroke class. Still quite a good turnout considering the racing conditions. Club Secretary Joe McLean just heading down to let these guys off at the start line. Look out for Ian Robertson, of course, who won the first two Pre-77 and 4-stroke races. Ian Robertson riding the YZ Yamaha, so look out for Ian Robertson from the gate. So they're off, and it looks like Alan Tom has made the early charge. There's Ian Robertson hitting the front once again on that very quick YZ Yamaha. You would think a lot of the guys on these 4-stroke bikes, the conditions would suit the 4-stroke bikes, but obviously not the case for Ian Robertson. This YZ seems to be lapping up these very heavy conditions. There's Alan Tom there just going through. Oh, a bit of a coming together there between Roddy Ross and Big Hagar, as they all appear to have successfully made the turn. So it's Ian Robertson once again. If Ian can keep this bike upright and on the island for this last and final race of this class, that will be 3 wins out of 3 for Ian on the YZ Yamaha. So it's still Ian Robertson in the lead, number 16 on that YZ Yamaha. Ian, of course, is a mechanic with Falkirk District Council, but naturally Ian appears to love this job more than fixing trucks and lawnmowers, riding his bike at the weekend. That's Keith Baird there on the XT Yamaha in second place. Alan Tom coming round on the XR Honda, trying to get the power down on that big 4-stroke as he heads up the hill. But Ian still slipping and sliding his way around this very muddy racetrack here at Forestmill. Still going very quick. As he heads down to the very bottom of the track to make the turn, to head up the hill. Quick flick left. Still going very fast on this YZ Yamaha. That power down as he shoots up the hill. Still got a substantial lead on the second place man. But it looks like it's going to be another win for Ian Robertson on this YZ Yamaha. A very deserved win nonetheless. There's Keith Baird on the XT Yamaha in second place, and it looks like Keith's going to secure second overall for his day's efforts. Very good rider, Keith Baird. Okay, that's the third and final Pre-77 and 4-stroke class race. Going to move right along now. These are the big Twinshock boys. These are the Twinshock Open class race. This, of course, is their third and final race of the day. Look out for Paul Chiappa and Walter Bickmore, who had a very good race in race 2. So if Paul Chiappa wins this third and final race on the day, obviously he will have the win overall. It looks like Grant McClure is riding Paul Chiappa's Moto Villa in the centre of the picture there. How do these guys get ready to go? Oh, somebody trying to jump the start there. I just love the smell of 2-stroke in the morning. So they're getting ready to be let loose. So they're just under starter orders. Let's have a quick look, see who manages to secure the whole shot in this third and final Twinshock Open class race. So they're off, and it looks like Brian Allardyce on the KTM has made the quick bolt from the gate, but Paul Chiappa looks like he's going around the outside to make the turn. Both riders turn at the same time. Chiappa comes powering down the hill on that 490 Michael and seems to have taken the lead. It's Chiappa first, Allardyce second, Simon Watson third, Craig Smith fourth, Malcolm McNabb going through there, Alistair Aitken going through, Steve Cruikshank and Ed Scrivener there on the number 8 Husqvarna. But it's Paul Chiappa once again who has shot into the early lead on the 490 Michael. Doesn't seem to have put a foot wrong all day, Paul, on that 490 Michael. Brian Allardyce has had a really good racing day as well on that KTM. Simon Watson there on the JBR Honda. But it's still Chiappa there in first place as he makes his way round the infield at the centre of the track. Looks really rock steady on this 490 Michael. Second place man still Brian Allardyce. Simon Watson going through. This is Craig Smith coming towards us on the 400 Michael. Young Craig, of course, has had many second places to Paul Chiappa in recent years. That's Alistair Aitken there, number 9 on the 490 Michael from Oban. Alistair's a well-travelled man to this event today. I'm not exactly sure who that rider is. They're number 173. But it's still round at the top. Paul Chiappa as he comes very quick. 490 Michael, DMC Motorcycles owner, who is at this very moment looking forward to his retirement in 2018. So that will give Paul obviously more time for racing. Yes, Paul has been running the Dunfermline Motorcycles business in Chalmers Street in Dunfermline for, I think it's approximately 30 odd years. So Paul is looking to be closing the shop in 2018 and having a lot more leisure time with his road bikes and his Twinshock racing. That's Simon Watson going through there on the JBR Honda. Simon Watson, of course, from the northeast, down near Newcastle. That's Dunoon man Grant McClure riding Paul Chiappa's 250 Moto Villa. A very rare bike on a motocross track these days. But still Chiappa there on the 490 Michael, who appears to have one of the side panels coming loose on that big 490 Michael, but that's not going to slow him down one bit. That's Callum Sangster there going through on the 81 250 Michael. But it still looks like Paul Chiappa's got this third and final Twinshock 500 class race in the bag. Steve Cruikshank appears to have had a bit of problems there and got going again, number 32 on the CRF 250 Red Rocket. Some of the riders struggling a bit in the very wet and still sticky conditions. So it's Paul Chiappa coming round to take the win, number 3, and of course the overall for his racing day. Now, very well deserved overall it was. Brian Allardyce coming home in second place. Okay, the second last race of the day. This, of course, is the Monoshock B-class. Only 4 riders left in this class now due to the heavy, wet conditions, and a lot of the riders have just decided to put their bikes in the van. But it's Kerry Wilson, once again, who's made the quick exit from the gate into an early lead with number 141 in second spot. Kerry, of course, been racing really well today with 2 second places in the previous 2 races, so hopefully Kerry can maybe score the win in this particular race. As she comes towards us on the little 125 KTM. Of course, the winner of the first 2 races, number 141, in second place there. So it's still a good substantial lead Kerry has on the second position man, number 141. Kerry riding really well in this race, and hopefully she can keep the bike upright and take the win in this last and final modern Monoshock B-class race of the day. One more race to come, of course, the big boys in the modern Monoshock A-class, which will be, of course, coming up next. But Kerry looks very comfortable on that little 125 KTM and still circumnavigating the track at a very good speed. So it looks like Kerry's coming through to take the win in this last and final modern Monoshock B-class race, with number 141 coming home in second place. So that's the modern Monoshock B-class. Okay, the last and final race of the day is, of course, the big boys in the modern Monoshock A-class. Now we should see some good racing in this last and final race. Look out for John Suter, who of course won both races in the previous 2 heats. So look out for him on the 2-stroke Suzuki. Craig Stevenson, of course, also went well in the first 2 heats, but anything can happen in this third and final race. Okay, they're under starters orders for this last and final race of the day. Still a very good turnout for these championship registered riders. So look out for young John Suter on that 118 2-stroke Suzuki. As they lead the line, it looks like Suter is going to hit the front again. Sean Docherty has made a fantastic start there in second place. So as they turn at the top of the hill to head back down, it's Suter in first place with Sean Docherty on the YZ Yamaha in second. Angus MacLeod making third place, Craig Stevenson going round the outside. Looks like most of the riders are going to make the turn safely, and as they head back up the hill on this very first lap. Now currently that is the second place man, that's Sean Docherty on the YZ250 Yamaha, number 275. Craig Stevenson making the turn in third place with, looks like Angus MacLeod right behind. But it's still John Suter who's been absolutely exceptional all day on this 2-stroke Suzuki, who is in the lead there and showing the pack a clean pair of heels in this last and final race of the day. Yeah, Craig Stevenson just making the turn there. Still in third place, if my calculations are still correct, but it's still Suter on that electrifyingly quick Suzuki 2-stroke as he makes his way back down the hill into turn 2 to start lap 2. Never put a foot wrong all weekend, young suitor, and it looks like this could be win number 3 for him. Sean Doherty still going well on the Yamaha there in 2nd place. Sean, of course, from Gairloch Head on the west coast of Scotland. Craig Stevenson there still going well in 3rd place. But it's still 118, that man from Forfar on the Suzuki, John Suter there in 1st place. Craig Stevenson coming round there. They seem to have a faller who's taken a tumble in the mud. Doesn't seem to appear to be any damage done, but I know that bike will probably weigh about 3 tons as he tries to lift it up. That's young Liam going through there, number 53 on the KTM. But there appears to have been a change of 2nd place. It looks like Craig Stevenson is now in 2nd place, with Sean Doherty bringing up the 3rd place. Stevenson, of course, has went really well on that 4-stroke Suzuki all day, so he'll be heading for another good finish. Now we should be able to see our 3rd place man, Sean Doherty, coming round there on the YZ250 Yamaha. There he goes. There's Sean, just trying to get that power down and get that Yamaha up the hill. Another rider seemed to have a starting problem with his modern bike. Craig Stevenson then coming through to make the turn in 2nd place. John Suter, of course, seems to be well down the field, has a really substantial lead on the 2nd place man. So there's your leader again, number 118, John Suter on the Suzuki 2-stroke. Virtually been unchallenged throughout the day on that superbly quick machine. I'm just waiting to pick up our leader and the 2nd and 3rd place men once again. That's David Watson going through there on 177. Another rider unfortunately dropped her bike, but there's the race leader, number 118, John Suter. Looks like it's going to be 3 wins out of 3 for the young Forfar man, and quite deservedly so. Craig Stevenson there in 2nd place on the 4-stroke Suzuki. It's been very, very heavy going for all these riders today, but they have put on a good show, and it's been a very, very hard day's riding in these very slippy and muddy conditions. So that's Craig Stevenson, number 38. Quite a substantial bit behind young Suter, but nevertheless still in a good 2nd place. As the rain starts to fall once again, track, can't really see how this track could get any wetter than it actually is at the moment, but as this is the last race of the day, then that's one consolation. I'm sure many of the riders will be quite glad that this is that rider especially, that this is the last race of the day. So there's your 2nd place man, Craig Stevenson, going through on the 4-stroke Suzuki. Looks like one of his fork leg protectors are going to be leaving the bike quite soon, as he heads up the hill to a very well deserved 2nd place. So it's still John Suter in first place, who is now on his last lap of the day. Craig Stevenson is going to finish in second place, and it looks like Ryan Bruce is going to take third place, because if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw Sean Docherty parked at the bottom side of the track in that last shot. So anyway, that's the end of the part 2 video from the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club's round 2 event at Forestmill in 2005. And just stay tuned to my YouTube channel for more features on classic dirt bikes and Twinshock racing. Anyway, until my next post on my YouTube channel, I hope you've enjoyed this video footage from the Scottish Twinshocks. So until my next post, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.